Gonna give you a moment to type that in your calculator. Okay, and notice I have now used moles 4 times, twice with the first chemical, twice with the second chemical. Now I've used grams twice. Everything's been used the number of times it needs to be used, so I'm done. Oh, sorry, this should be 2 decimal places, 115.30. Yes, ma'am.
Batteries on this are low.
Oh, I'm out of batteries. Put it back and you can borrow this one for today. Just put it back for now, sorry. Okay. Do you have any questions? Knowing that you have a quiz today that is partially, part of it is like this problem?
What's the other part of it?
Like the problems on page 9 and 10. Yeah, do you feel like you need me to do one more with you? Yes? Okay. All right, let's look at number 2 then. If you would like me to do one more with you, we're going to look at number 2. Again, what are the units you see in number 2? What are our color coding words?
0.05 grams.
Well, that's grams, yeah, grams.
Moles.
And moles. So if it's grams and moles, how many fractions is it? 3. So draw your 3 fractions. Okay?
With moles, just all moles, it's just 2, right?
What do you mean?
Fraction.
Right. Yes. Okay, and again, what goes on top of this first fraction? This number they gave you, 0.5, and make sure you give it a unit, grams, and a chemical, CO2. And what goes on bottom of that first fraction? A 1. Okay, now when we decide that CO2 is where we're starting, we can come up here and we can start our little bridge by drawing a dot. Big dot, that's where I'm starting. And in this problem, what chemical am I supposed to end my bridge at? C3H5. So this time in my bridge, I guess, is more of a tunnel because I'm drawing it on the bottom. This time my bridge goes this way. Do you have a pass? She what? She's going to email me? Okay. Okay. So you've drawn your bridge starting at CO2, which was the chemical that came with our number, ending at C3H5, which is the chemical that they want us to change to. Now, what goes up must come down. So if I have grams of CO2 on top, I need grams of CO2 on the bottom. And that uses grams twice. I'm done with grams. I can't use any more grams. So what unit is going to go on top? Moles. Okay, and here's the tricky part. This is where you have to pay attention to yourself. When grams and moles are the same fraction, what did we say about the chemical? They have to be the same chemical. When grams and moles are in the same fraction, they have to be the same chemical. That's very important. And when grams and moles are in the same fraction, what do we say our number of moles is still going to be? 1, just like it used to be, just like before. And where do your grams come from? From your periodic table. I heard Colton add it up already because he's a smarty pants. But if you want to go ahead and do that yourself, you will get 44.01. Okay, if I have moles of CO2 on top, what goes up must come down, so what am I going to write on the bottom? Moles of CO2. Now, I have to use moles 4 times, but only 2 of those times can be with the same chemical, and I've used them both with CO2. I can't do moles of CO2 anymore, but I need more moles. So I must be switching to moles, because I need more moles. I got to get 4 moles. So far I only have 2. But I have to switch chemicals now. I can only use it twice with a chemical, and I've already used it twice with CO2. So what's the chemical we're switching to? What did our bridge say? C3H5. So I had moles on the bottom, and that's my cue to get on the bridge. How much CO2 do I pay to get on the bridge? 3. I pay 3 CO2, 3 moles of CO2 to get on the bridge. Remember, this is a number of moles. And if I pay 3 moles of CO2 to get on the bridge, and then I drive across the bridge, how much C3H5 is the bridge pointing at? 1 mole. If there's no number in front, that's just 1. Okay, and again, from here, you should know how to put this in your calculator. Top times top times top, get you a new top. Bottom times bottom times bottom, get you a new bottom. Divide top over bottom. Where did the 3 and the 1 come from? Once you have moles on the bottom, you're ready to use your bridge.
Oh, it's still the same. Okay.
So the bridge had 3 moles of CO2, so I wrote a 3 here. And the bridge had 1 mole of C3H5, so I wrote a 1 here. Yeah. And in your calculator, you end up with like 0.00378, blah, blah, blah. You can round that to 0.004. That's fine. Or you could leave it 0.038 if you wanted. And then this should be moles, because we need moles a 4th time of C3H5, because I haven't used it the 2nd time with that chemical yet. Okay, now remember, if it's a problem that has moles and moles instead of grams and moles, you're only going to need 2 fractions. That's like the top of page 11. Do you have any questions? Okay, at this time I'm going to give you 10 minutes to work on pages 9 and 11. Well, a little less than 10 minutes because we spent so long reviewing. And then we're going to do a quick warm-up for the quiz and then take the quiz, and then we're going to move on.